Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here for another Monday This and That vlog. And what these type of videos are, just for anyone who's new and doesn't understand, I use Mondays as the one day I can give updates and just touch on a whole bunch of different topics, since most of the rest of the videos that you see were recorded 3 to 6 weeks ahead of the time they actually publish, because I like to stay ahead on my videos, but I also like to have a way to give announcements and updates and just little tips and stuff all in one video. So that's what Mondays are for. So let's get to the topics of today, starting off with the marinated, grilled, and then dehydrated chicken and how I did it. So I've been talking about this a lot. And in fact, I have a video just on dehydrating meat and how you can do it to make it turn out very much like freeze-dried meat without the expensive freeze dryer. I keep bringing this up because I still keep trying new things. And so this time what I decided to do was grill up chicken. So I pulled out a whole bunch of chicken breasts. If you saw my last week's video, seen I'd done that. I used my new grilling pan on the wood stove, and we just used what we needed right away. And then the rest of it, I cut it up. So as you can see in this picture, this is the size I cut it up. And I put all that in the freezer overnight. Then the next day, I took the chicken out, spread it on my dehydrating trays, and then just dehydrated it about 120 degrees for 10 to 12 hours, something like that. And it turns out, oh, it's so delicious. I mean, again, it's one of those things just like the corned beef I was talking about last week. I wanted to vacuum seal it up in the jar right away, because once it's sealed, I'm less likely to get into it and try to sneak pieces out. So it's all vacuum sealed and ready to go back into storage for however I want to use it. So again, let me reiterate this tip, because people keep getting this wrong. They keep getting it mixed up. So you take your meat. It doesn't matter if it's fresh or if you already had it frozen but it was raw. If it's raw, you need to cook it first. Doesn't matter if it was frozen before or not. Cook it first, then cut it up in the whatever size you want, freeze it, then take it out and dehydrate it. Now the question I keep getting asked is, well, do I have to let it thaw all the way first? No, you don't. In fact, if it stays loose, like I believe this stayed pretty loose, the corned beef did, I was able to just put it frozen. As you can see in this picture, this is it frozen, going directly onto the dehydrator trays. As long as it's all not clumping together, you can just dump it on there and put it immediately in your dehydrator. If it's all in one big clump, then yes, you're going to have to let it thaw out enough that you can spread it out on your trays, because it's not going to dry very well if you just stick it in there like a big clump. It's a simple step that doesn't cost any more money, that can save you a lot of money if you're still on the fence about getting a freeze dryer. If you're still on that fence and you're like, I just don't know if it's worth the cost, or you simply can't afford it, I have two videos out now on why I will not own a freeze dryer, even though I was offered one for free. And this was through research of my own before even considering it, like really finding out what are they comparing when it comes to nutrients, what is the actual cost, and what is the actual shelf life. All these things, because anytime a company is trying to sell a product, they're going to really downplay the benefits of any other, like for example, dehydrated foods, while exaggerating greatly the freeze-dried foods. And they do that. They're not giving you all the facts so that you know what they're basing it on. And I cover all that in both of those videos. So if you want to learn more, I'll link to both of them, because I have information, different information in each one that you might want to listen to. So, and in the meantime, what I've been doing is finding more and more ways to not only just be able to easily utilize the dehydrated foods, but little tricks that I can do to help it turn out more like freeze-dried if you're wanting something that's light and crisp, and then makes it easier for rehydration. Now, there's plenty of dehydrated foods that rehydrate easily enough, and you don't need any extra steps. But the meat is one of those that really does. I am going to start experimenting with fruits and vegetables to see if I can get some similar results. Mostly with fruits, you're not going to see that though, because fruits are just so high. A lot of your fruits are so high in sugar. Berries, you can powder, get them dry, crispy enough where you can powder them up because they don't have the high sugar content. And some of your apples you can do that with. But a lot of fruits like mangoes, you certainly can't. And I don't think the freezing trick would work, but I haven't tried it, so I don't know. So anyway, yes, I highly recommend this. And if you're interested in my marinade recipe for grilled chicken, I'll link to that video down below. And then right here is another little experiment, and these are dehydrated black olives. The last olives I bought, I couldn't find any from Costco that I could order online that were not whole. And I use sliced black olives quite a bit. And so I thought, you know what I'm going to do, because I hate slicing up olives when I need to use them. I'm going to try slicing them and then dehydrating them and see how that works. And so that's what I did here. Now, they do work great in soups and sauces where you want to have the black olives. But when I tried just soaking them in room temperature water, they rehydrated, but they just didn't get that same, you know, fullness to them. But they were still soft enough you could eat them. But I tell you what, even if you didn't like them to use them in dishes like this, they are a delicious snack, I'm telling you. So yeah, you can, that's something you can even just do as a snack. And then you can, instead of opening a whole can and feeling like you got to eat the whole thing, you can just snack on some dried ones every so often. So I'm really happy with this for the most part. And then here is just another jar of dehydrated beef roast, because now every time I cook up a roast, I cook up 2. And then we eat on one for a few nights, you know, and I'll make different dinners with that. And then I'll take the other one, immediately chop it up, freeze it, and then dehydrate it. So that way I'm making more room in my freezer, because I can put this, vacuum seal it, and store it on my shelf for years and years. All right, so talking more about dehydrated stuff. So more apples. I now am up to 34 quart jars of dehydrated apples. I was going to stop at about 24, but I still am working. I got one more basket of apples from our trees. So I'm still working through that. And I found out the other day, Jackson loves Grandma's dehydrated apples. So I'm like, I'm going to keep putting up more dehydrated apples. So I will be putting up more, but in the meantime, and I do have a video coming out. It's already recorded. It's already uploaded, waiting to publish, on the uses for dried apples, where I also just give some basic instructions on how to dehydrate apples. One thing I didn't think to mention is that yes, you can, even though I do not bother with this, because the apples are gonna, usually once you add all your different spices and whatever you're doing, they're gonna take on a brownish color anyway. And so this is the color mine are. I don't do anything special. I just put them right on the trays. But if you want to keep a more white color to them instead of this, then all you have to do is, some people will do like a soak of their sliced apples in salt water. And if people would like to share more on that in comments down below that do that, I've taken them and just kind of dipped them in juice or brushed juice over it when I was trying that before. That's another way to keep them from oxidizing. But then it makes them sticky and then more messy when you go to, you know, dehydrate. So I just don't even mess with that. But then the other thing I said in that video was talking about how you can take your dried apples and turn them into applesauce. Now, I said that knowing you could, though I'd never tried it until this morning. So as I'm rearranging everything for more dehydrated apples, I found I still had a jar from 2015, 8 years old, apples. I opened it up, I tasted one, and I'm like, it's really not bad for being 8 years old, but you can tell some of the flavor was not quite the same, texture and color weren't quite the same, but still good enough to snack on. However, I figured those would be perfect for turning into applesauce, so I can prove it can be done. So here's what I just did. I took the dehydrated apples, and they were in slices, just like you see in those jars there. I added some juice to it instead of plain water to add more flavor, since, you know, they'd lost some of their flavor. So I used whatever juice I had opened, which was an organic passion fruit blend that I get from Vitacost. And then you can always add more water or juice if you don't like it that thick. So it's going to be all up to you. Just keep adding the liquid in. And then I just took a stick blender and blended it right in the pot. So now I've got applesauce ready to go. Now I already have lots of canned applesauce, which is why I'm not putting up applesauce with my apples this year, because I already have a bunch, and this is going to take up less room. But if we ever run out of what I already have canned, I wanted to prove that yes, you can take the dehydrated apples and just turn it into applesauce if you ever run out. So, and then a few other projects, more things. I did get some more apple scrap vinegar going, and then from the grapes, because we got most grapes we've ever had. I've got 2 jugs of wine going back here, and if you watch the short that came out this last Wednesday, I I'll put it right here so you can see what it looks like. You'll notice that the color of what you're seeing here is very different, and that's common, especially when you're working with white or green grapes. Once you crush all your grapes, you might be a little disillusioned the first time you do this. Because it's either gonna be like an olive green or a brownish color, and you're probably gonna think that's not gonna be a very pretty wine. But through the week, what you'll find is that, and because this is still only a few days in, it'll turn a beautiful golden color. So just for example, I'll put an image here so you can see one from a batch I did a year or so ago, but it turns this beautiful golden color. So it's just, as it starts fermenting, that color will lighten up and it will turn a lot prettier. So trust me, don't be disillusioned when you do your first batch using something that's a light color and it looks kind of ugly at first. It will get better, trust me. Oh, and if you're interested in learning winemaking, I'll put that full playlist down below. At least it's how I do it. I have my own unique method. Everybody's going to be a little bit different, but mine is simple and easy, and I make my own fermentation starter, so I never have had to ever buy any kind of special yeast to make my wine or mead. Okay, moving on. So I promised I would talk about this again because even though I believe the 20% discount is over. Sorry, I keep confusing people, I'm sure, because I keep confusing myself by not reading thoroughly like I should have been doing. But through my link, you can still get a 15% discount. That's always going to be there. So this is for the Nakano knives, but one of the things I promised I wanted to share is that I knew they were going to send me not only this knife block here, so it's bamboo, but it's got a magnet inside it. So I've got knives on both sides of it. So you can see here, that's the chef's knife from the original Mito series, which is the olive wood handle, which I love. I love the color of it. But as a special gift, they went ahead and sent me I just got it in yesterday, this micarta knife. And it's definitely a much more expensive knife, but I just wanted to show it to you. I have not had a chance to use it yet. And it does have a wooden handle. I don't know if you can see the grain there. I thought when I saw it in the pictures, I thought maybe it was some kind of acrylic handle or something, but no, it's wooden and it's beautiful. And they threw in yet another paring knife because they know how much I love those paring knives. So now I have 4 paring knives. I did buy the set of 3 paring knives because I liked this set so much that they did send me for free. So I'm just letting you know that I got the set for free in exchange for a review. And then I liked them so much I went and bought the set of paring knives. So then they went ahead and sent me another one, plus this block, plus a knife sharpener that I haven't used yet. But I did watch some videos on how to use at least one just like this one. And so I think I've got it figured out. You have different coarsenesses depending on the shape of your knife. So if your knife really needs repair, you're going to use the coarsest ones. And then when you get to where you just need some sharpening, you're going to use the one that says fine to sharpen. And so none of mine need repair, so I would only use this for sharpening. But I haven't tried it yet. So anyway, I just wanted to give you an update, but I will try using this week and then give you an update on what I think about the micarta in either next week's This and That or the one after that. But anyway, it is a beautiful knife. It definitely has more heft to it than the olive wood, the Mito series one. But I love all of these. So either way, I mean, it's not too heavy. It just, you can just feel it's got a little more weight to it, which would probably explain part of the reason of the price difference there. Oh, and then I want to come back to the dehydrating real quick. I had in the past couple of weeks, I've had lots of dehydrating videos coming out, but there was 2 of them that were more about, like, one was like my favorite things to dehydrate. And then the last one that came out this last week was 5 reasons why I'm dehydrating more. And even though I said in that video that if you want to learn more about how to dehydrate the specific things, you need to go to the playlist I'd be linking down below. A lot of people kept coming in and asking, well, how do you dehydrate this? How do you dehydrate that? Well, I just want you to understand, when I do videos like those ones, the 5 reasons or my 5 favorite things, those are about that topic, not about how to dehydrate each thing, because I either already have videos like that out that are going to be more detailed that answer all the questions you need, Or I have a video coming out just like the one on the apples and the meat. So just make sure if you want to learn more about the specifics of dehydrating anything that I already have out, the bone broth, the eggs, the cheese, the milk, and whatever else, you'll find that in the dehydrating playlist, which again, I will link to in the description box down below. If you don't know how to find that, simply look down right below the screen, and depending on what if you're on Rumble, if you're on YouTube, or what device you're on, it might look a little different, but it should say more or show more somewhere down here. It can be anywhere along here, just below the video screen. Click on that, it'll open the description box. You'll find everything that I put in there. And if I forget to put something in there, just remind me. It happens because there's a lot of things I have to remember to do when I'm uploading videos. Now, the last two things are announcements in regards to collaboration type videos. So the garden collaboration is now closed. So please don't send me any more pictures for that. I'm already starting to work on that particular video. That one's going to probably take me a couple days to edit because I got a lot of submissions for that. But the next one we're going to be working on is the craft collaboration. I've already been getting photos from a few people. I already have a folder ready for that. So if you've made any kind of crafting thing, it doesn't matter if it's something you've sewn, knitted, crocheted, painted, metalwork, woodwork, paper crafts, then take some real nice clean photos. Make sure they're clear and clean. You don't want a lot of clutter around them to take away from the main topic of the photo. And I only use up to 3 photos per person in each video because otherwise it can be way too long. And then so you'll send that with the title Craft Collaboration, and then tell me in that email which name you would like me to attribute to your photos. And it's as simple as that. So I'm gonna try to close that out on November 30th. So make sure if you're going to be a part of that collaboration, get your photos to me by then. And then the one after that will be the fermenting collaboration. So I'm gonna start a new folder for that. Same thing will apply. Take some nice photos of anything that you've fermented or are fermenting and send that in a separate email called Fermenting Collaboration. Don't send all your collaboration photos for craft and fermenting all in one email. Separate emails, Fermenting Collaboration, so I can drop that in its appropriate folder and then start collecting those for that video when I come around to doing that. Now, the other one is, this is a different type of collaboration, and that is, you've heard me talk about it before, is the natural healing testimonies. I thought maybe it would just be one video, but I've got enough testimonies right now. In fact, I've already shot one that's set to publish in a few weeks. I'm going to shoot another one today, and I still have more to go through, but please keep sending me your natural healing testimonies to raincountryhomestead@gmail.com. Entitle it either natural healing or natural remedies, something like that. So this is going to be any testimony where you've used some kind of natural, like an herb, a food, or even something you've done. Maybe you found a way to remove all the fluoride from your diet by doing something different with your water, like we did going with the rainwater catchment system, or some kind of filter, got rid of your Teflon pan. So it can be something you got rid of as well to help your body heal. Share those with me, and then I usually do 4 to 5 depending on how long each story is in each video. Yeah, so this is going to be an ongoing series, I'm pretty sure. And I think it's just really good for people to hear the real life stories of how people were able to either get off of the medications or avoid taking them in the first place, or even avoid surgery altogether, because some have done that as well. And I think these are great testimonies. And if you're interested in our own, we do have a video we did in 2018 on how we got off the thyroid medication. We've now been off of it for 11 and a half years. And then I did another update in last year in 2022 on the thyroid health, and I'll link to both of those down below if you'd like to learn a little bit more about that. And that's it for my this and that for the week. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.